Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Can you please explain to me why every time the Game Toppers logo comes on, I start laughing? Every single
Do you
time.
really?
I don't know why. I think it's part of it because I'm watching you and I'm like seeing if you're dancing
Are
at
you?
all. I don't, and then I always see you kind of smiling, so I'm like, what is so funny? Like I always feel like I want to laugh at that part. I don't know. I don't know why.
That's
It's
awesome.
weird. It's weird. Hello, Omar. Hello, Battle Cry. How are you guys? I hope everybody's doing fantastically well today. Um, Gloryhound and I started a couple minutes early, but we were chitty chatting, and we talked about so much fun stuff like right before the show, and I'm
Mhm.
like, should we be saving
That's
this?
sweet. We need to be quiet before. It's hard to
Yeah,
be quiet,
like it is. I don't like getting on here too early because you and I just literally talk about
right?
everything. I want to say, oh, hi, Chrissy, my dear friend Chrissy. Let's see. One thing we talked about was your hair, and it is
Yes.
glorious. Yeah. So you
Oh, thank
freshly dyed it.
you.
Did you
Yes.
have to do a bleach treatment before you went in and did that?
Yes. Yes, I
Okay,
absolutely did.
explain that.
So dyeing my hair is actually super, super like tedious. It's really tedious,
Mhm.
everyone. I don't recommend it to everyone, okay? So
Because it's
you have
very
to go.
damaging to your hair.
It is very
Bleaching.
damaging to your hair, and I have very, very dark hair. And then I go ahead and go through. I have to bleach everything, and then that takes hours, and then recolor everything takes hours. So this takes work, everyone. But I love it. I don't know exactly what I would do without it because I really, really
Yeah.
enjoy just having a different colored hair. It was one of those things that back when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, I want to dye my hair. I want to dye my hair." And my mom's like, "No, you will not be dyeing hair."
Your mom said you're not gonna dye your
No.
hair?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
I would get in trouble if I even mentioned it. Like I could
Really?
not dye my hair. So then after all those years of not dyeing my hair, I'm like, "Hey mom,
Wow.
hey
You're like, "I'm just
mom."
gonna go for it, and it's gonna be vicious, and it's gonna be a lot." Oh my gosh. Here, hold on. I'm trying to figure out wait, hold on a second.
We need to
I got
block
rid of
some
I
people
don't
up in
know.
here.
I'm trying to figure out how to do that, and I do not know how to. Hold on one second. I literally don't know how to do it. And now we're not on the screen? You don't see us on there, do you?
I'm here.
Can you
I
see me
see
on the
us.
screen right now?
I see you on the
What?
screen.
I can't see anything on here.
Fight the power, says Battle Cry. Hello, Andrew. How are you doing?
Hold on one second. I do not know why. Oh, here we go.
How's
Okay, figure this out.
so as far as games and stuff that I've been playing lately, it's been kind of lots of Onk stuff. I keep on playing just Onk, Onk, and Onk.
I
Chat,
have
has
seen
anybody in chat
so
playing
much of
Onk?
that.
Yeah.
I've seen Onk a ton in all over Facebook, all over all the social medias. I've seen that game a ton, and a lot of people are talking about what's that mechanic that you called
The
again? What is the
merging. The
like?
merging,
Yeah,
yeah. We
yeah,
merged on stream last night. It was amazing.
yep. That is awesome. Oh, I think I figured something out. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me a second. I cannot see myself at all, or you. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna text Randy. Can you fix the problem on my live stream? But hey, if you can see us in the main part of the screen, though,
I
Kat?
can.
Oh, then I'm just gonna leave it until Randy gets in here and fixes it. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I never have learned how to block stuff, and obviously there were some comments that no, and so I was trying to figure that out. And I think in doing so, I somehow got rid of
All the
like
comments, all the comments, all the chat.
something's gone. Yeah, if I do this, I'm gonna try to fix one more thing, guys. Just hold on a second. I don't want to do that. It's like report a problem, sure, but now I'll get my stuff back on the screen. I don't know. Well, if you guys can still see us, then I will call it good. I will call it good. One thing that cracked me up before we went live was the fact that Gloryhound, I was like, what's on your shirt? And we had this whole discussion. about Starbucks based on her shirt. Look at what she has right now on her shirt. It
It's
cracked me up.
dark call coffee. It's the skeleton. He's laying in the coffee. I feel like this should be where my body lays after I rest. I just put me in a big old pile of coffee, just in a little coffee cup. That'd
Drown
be
me in a cup of coffee.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was sitting here staring at it. I'm like, obviously that's a cup of coffee, and I'm trying to
Mhm.
figure out what's in it. And you're like, oh, it's a skeleton. And I'm like,
It's a
oh my gosh, I'm
skeleton. You're like,
also
oh.
wearing a coffee shirt that is Little Mermaid coffee shirt. And it says, I want to be where the coffee is. My sister got this for me for my birthday. So we're both wearing
Freaking
our
love it.
coffee shirts today. And it's
Oh,
awesome.
coffee is king. Like,
Coffee is king. And this whole t-shirt thing got us started talking about Starbucks and how
yes.
you remembered Starbucks in Seattle before it was like huge like it is now, which is crazy. I can't picture
Absolutely.
it not being humongous.
Yeah. Well, when I was a
That's
kid,
such
I
a
went
weird
to
thing.
visit Seattle. And when I was in Seattle, I didn't realize this at the time. It was like, everybody's like, oh, you need to go to Starbucks. You need to go to Starbucks. You need to get the Starbucks Seattle mug. You need to go ahead and try the coffee. You need to do all these things. Like, it was like a step-by-step thing. That was the huge thing out there. I was like, oh, what is this Starbucks thing? And then now as an adult looking back and seeing how Starbucks has prospered so much.
Yeah. Prospered is right.
So
Like,
much.
I feel like the top 3 things that you'll find on any street corner, Starbucks, McDonald's, and Subway.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like, you will literally find those in the middle of nowhere, which is hilarious. And now that it's gotten, like, it used to be, oh, you got to go experience this thing. Now I'm trying to kind of pull away from Starbucks because I find myself going there a lot, and I want to support local people who are trying to have little coffee shops. I mean, maybe that's dumb. I don't know. There's this guy
It's
down the
not
road.
dumb.
It's not dumb. I don't know why I said that. It's great. It's really
Yes,
great. But
it
there's
is
this
great.
guy down the road, and he owns this shop, and I think his whole family runs it, and he actually roasts his own beans. And so
Does
I'll
he
go there and I'll
really?
buy. Yeah, he has a whole, like, the whole front of it's so cute.
Ooh.
It's decorated so differently and unique. And they sell, like, scones, and I was gonna say sconces. They sell wall sconces.
You pick up your
I'm like,
coffee
that's
and you
not
get a
the right
sconce.
word.
It's so
You get a
different. You
sconce for
just
your
get
wall.
sconce.
Very,
It
very
holds your
cute.
coffee.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's a sconce coffee holder. So he sells like scones and sandwiches, and their food is amazing. And then on the other side of the little restaurant, it doesn't look like there would be enough space for him to have like a roastery back there, but there's a ton of
Yeah.
like really shiny big equipment that he's got all these beans roasting in. And it's cute because it's to the point where I walk in and he's like, hi Ellen, do you want your Nicaraguan coffee again? I'm like,
Aww.
yes I do. And I'm like a regular there. And it feels cute. I love that.
Those
I think
are
it's
the
fantastic.
best. Those are the best. And like
Mm.
Dark Hall Coffee is kind of one of those places where it's a very small, tiny little place, and
Mhm.
it's an individually run sort of company and everything. When you go in
Mhm.
there, it was like I was going in there enough where I felt special and everybody knew me and their coffee was amazing.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, it you feel like you're helping somebody out like right
Yeah.
there, right away. You know?
Totally. Yep.
It's definitely a
It's a
different
very
sort of feeling.
It is. It's a very addicting feeling, and if I'm just being honest, because I'm an honest person, I like being honest with my viewers. There was a time when I didn't think too much about like supporting local stuff. Not that I was against it. I literally just
Yeah,
didn't think about it, and
you
I
didn't
think
think
that's
about
part of just getting older, maturing, and just seeing how the world works and whatever. But when I was a
it. Hmm.
teenager, whenever you're like, let's go to Starbucks, ha ha. That's how we all talk. Let's go, ha
Need the
ha
Starbucks
ha.
street cred right there, right?
Let's go to Starbucks and get a not bashing anyone who goes to Starbucks. I literally just went there like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But you start recognizing that it is important to support local people. And so it's a really good feeling walking in there and they know who you are, and you know
Yeah.
that your cash is like helping them stay afloat. And that's a good
Hmm.
feeling.
Super
So
good feeling. Super good
yeah.
feeling.
Battle Cry says, I was going to wear my
Oh,
coffee shirt, but it didn't match my shoes.
Battle Cry, you messed up. You messed up, Battle
Dang.
Cry.
Kabuki Kid Googled it, and it's issued number 1, in fact. Wait, what does that say?
Oh,
My
maybe on the
screen is
merge
so weird.
thing? Is it on the merge thing? I don't
Oh, is
know.
that what it is? I thought they were talking about
I don't know.
Starbucks still. I'm like, really? Well, I believe it. And then Ida says, first time catching you live. Hello, Ida.
Oh, hello, Ida.
Awesome.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome. I hope that we are entertaining and I didn't screw too many things up because I literally can't see anything. I am working blind right now. So I'm just waiting for my cursor to start moving on its own. That
there
usually
you go,
means it's Randy.
And then you're like, haha, finally.
Takes over from work. Yeah. I'm just waiting for that to happen. But anyways, all right. So you said you played a lot of Ankh this week?
I did, but that's not necessarily the games I necessarily want to talk about. I have 2 games.
Oh, all right.
2
Why
games
don't you
that
go
I
ahead
played.
and get started then? Yeah,
okay.
Let us know.
The first one that I played, I'm like, where's my note? Is Alien, Fate of the Nostromo. Super excited about it. It was part of the group of games that we picked up from Target because we picked 2 ones that we thought would do really, really well with IPs that we really, really loved and everything. And to everybody's surprise, upon playing the game, and I did this right before we started, I told the doctor, I've never seen aliens before. And yes, that was
what?
that was the thing.
Oh my gosh. Is this the right game? I'm trying to find it and I want to make sure. Is this right or no?
Yes, that is the right game. That is the right
cool.
game.
I will look at images then. Yes.
Which I have to tell you right now, if you play the game and you've never watched the movies, it is a completely different experience, first off, because everything's so much cuter. If you don't have that fear based behind it, okay?
Okay. Why are there pictures of cats in here? I'm finding a lot of cat pictures.
Because it's the kitty on the ship that she rescues. But like when you open the box, surprise, that's like the first thing you see. I'm sorry, spoilers, everybody.
Yeah.
So like,
shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. When the doctor opened the box, he was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like what? That scared. Like it's built to have that scare whenever you immediately open the box. Is that cat like growling
an
there?
Intense face. Like look at that.
Right.
That is an intense cat face. I'm like, why is there a cat here?
An intense cat face. But what you do in this game? This is like a light mini pandemic game because you're trying to do a bunch of stuff around the ship and you have to do 3 objectives before you get to like the final objective that you have. And when you get to that final objective, that notates like the ending of the game. But it's a cooperative game. So you all win together, you all lose together with it. And you don't have just the 3 objectives. You have like lots of different ones that switch out and everything. But essentially what you're doing is you're going around the ship. You're trying to get scrap in order to make different items. You're trying to do these objectives. The alien is coming after you. So after every player's turn, a card turns over. And then that alien is going to possibly be doing something. Or there's some sort of event that might happen with the card. So those cards can be good or bad whenever it happens. There's like quiet ones where just like scrap gets placed out on the board and stuff. And then there's like bad ones that happen. There are things that you end up putting in the room that when you enter the room and you flip it over, the alien might attack you there. So it's a surprise. You don't know if the room you're entering is going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Like it's really, really interesting. It gives you
so it's like a push your luck kind of a deal.
Kind of too.
Really. Yes. I mean, yeah, because
you have to make those decisions, right? Like, yeah.
Interesting. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so this is wait, what is the thing? IP
for the alien IP. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So are we liking that? Because I know gargoyles that you talked about last week. That was a hit for you. You loved it.
It was a hit for me. So
is this also a hit IP? Because those are sometimes hard to nail.
Well, since I hadn't watched the Aliens movie, like I said, this was a completely different experience for me. And since then, I have watched the Alien movies, everyone, just to make everybody calm and chat.
Everybody's about to go, what?
Yeah. I have watched both Alien and Aliens. Okay, I watched both of them last. Wow. It was a must. Everybody in chat was very upset with me.
People get serious about that.
Now I know what's going on. I feel like this, but our first playthrough was very, very tough. We lost our first playthrough of this game, which was really, really interesting because I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot get a hold of the scrap and it's so important towards the game. And then the second game, we were successful, but we were successful at the last minute. The countdown started. Oh, wow. We had this little thing, and it's 4, 3, 2, 1. And so every time the doctor's round came around, it was like one tile off. And we made it
Oh
down
my
to
gosh.
the very last minute of that game, trying to do what we needed to do in the game, in the scenario.
That
And
sounds like a fun situation.
it was really cute. Like, well, I mean, I don't know if you can
Hmm.
call an alien game cute, but
I
it
was
was
like,
very cute.
what? I mean, there's a carrot in there. So for some people, that is a given.
In the fact that this is a game that I would very easily show everybody. Like, I would show
Mhm.
gamers, non-gamers, and the gamers are probably going to have fun with the IP and with kind of the light strategy that's going on in the
Mhm.
game. And then non-gamers are going to be introduced to a myriad of these amazing different things with this super heavy theme over it that they're
Wow.
going to fall in love with. I think that non-gamers are especially going to fall in love with this game because this is going to
Okay.
be their gateway game right here. These games like this are going to
Interesting.
be their gateway game because this is an
Hmm.
IP everybody loves.
Yeah.
And it gives you really fun feelings in your stomach about, oh, should I turn this over?
Ah,
Should I go this opposite way? Ah,
fun
the
feelings in
alien's
your
right around the
stomach.
corner. Yes.
What?
It gives you those feelings in your stomach that they might not be used to. And then gamers can still enjoy the game and show this to other people and work with the group and everything. And there's still things to be done in this game. Like I said, it has a pandemic like feel to it where you are trying to
Interesting.
resolve things that are happening out on the board as fast as possible while getting all your tasks done. It's really,
Got
really
it.
cute, everyone. I had a lot of
That does
fun with
sound
this
really
one.
interesting, and I have seen all the movies too, so maybe just because I know what like, who I'm playing,
Yes,
that would be kinda cool too, actually.
right?
Glory Hog says, "And we have seen Prometheus," and then down here, Kabuki Kid says, "Prometheus gets a lot of flack, but it has a lot of good in it." Why does it get flack? Because, I've seen that movie too, and I remember there being, like, discussion about it. Is that a game also, or are you talking about the movie? Because 'Cause isn't that a
The
movie?
movie. It is the
Yeah, the
movie,
movie.
and a lot of people, I guess, didn't like Prometheus. I really liked Prometheus. I thought
Why?
I did. Why did I
Did they
like
just think
it?
it was no, why did people not like it? It's just a
Oh,
fun alien movie, like,
I
I
think
don't
that
know.
for people, it was like maybe too far away from like the other
Uh,
alien movies. You know, they were expecting maybe
okay.
something else. It was like very lore based and stuff like that. I thought it was an
Okay.
interesting story
And then somebody
overall.
here says, "How does this compare to Nemesis?" And I have not played
Ooh,
Nemesis. Is that a question you can
okay.
answer?
So, Raven, I actually have not played Nemesis either, but I feel like this versus Nemesis, from what I've read about Nemesis, and we will be
Mhm.
playing Nemesis in the future. Like, it is incoming.
Okay.
Okay, everyone.
Oh, nice. She's not
This
just
would,
making all this up. There will be
right.
fact behind it.
This has the same sort of theme going on in it, but is much, much lighter because in Nemesis, you're going to have where one player can possibly betray everybody. There's a lot more rules and stuff going on in the ship and things to keep track of and everything. Whereas in the Aliens game, you're keeping track of your 3 goals that you might have out and then your one final goal whenever it happens.
Hmm.
And then when the alien does attack you, you just retreat from the alien. And so, like, there's not like people are dying, or it's like a very small, like,
Hmm.
kinder version
A
of
kinder
something
version.
like that you would want to play. So, if you were trying to get people into Nemesis, that would be a fantastic game to build up to that. Be like, all right, let's play this aliens game and kind of start getting this sort of
Hmm.
stuff and ideas under control here with us working together on a board and doing tasks. And there's something in here. And then
Hmm.
branch off to Nemesis later whenever they've learned all those mechanics and everything with it. That's what I
Very
think.
interesting. That's interesting because I have not played either of these, so it's cool to
Mm-hmm.
hear a comparison right away. Kabuki Kid says, "I want to play this. I still say that the thematic disconnect that nobody dies from the alien is
Yes.
weird, though. What? Nobody dies from the alien itself?
No, because it is a
What does that
cooperative
mean?
game. So when the alien enters your room, you do
Uh,
leave the room, like you flee from the room, basically, and you have
oh,
to flee 3 spaces. And
oh,
I
okay.
totally get what Kabuki's
Huh.
trying to say. Like Kabuki wants death and slaughter on the board, okay?
You guys really
I
bond over that
totally get
death and
it, okay?
destruction.
Right? But I don't know how
Uh,
they would add that to the game while still making it feel like a cooperative thing that happens as you're going. Like,
huh.
because the Nostromo is so small and compact, and where I feel like the alien moving 1 to 2 spaces makes them have access to like a ton of other places. And they made the board specific for that. So you would always have that feeling of dread, like, oh my gosh, like the alien's right around the corner. So I just don't think they have enough space in order to, they don't have enough space and space. I'm on it today.
See what you did there. Before the stream, you said some brew joke about, what did you say?
You're like,
yeah, it's where Starbucks, they brewed it. In Seattle, it's where brewed. I'm like, dang it, Gloryhoundd, save comments like that for the live stream. It's funny. But and then Vesic says, how does Alien compare? Sorry, I'm trying to read because my screen's all messed up. How does Alien compare to Horrified?
Everybody is like mentioning all these games I have like on my table. We have Horrified too, and I will have to let you know, Horrified is on our list of games to play. So I'm also really, really curious about the comparison because I heard that they're pretty close. So we'll let you know when we play Horrified, okay?
Yeah, I think, wasn't it Tom Vassell who was like, loved Horrified? He thought it was like, I remember hearing him talk about it a lot and then he really loved it. So I don't really know anything about it. Isn't it IP with like Frankenstein and like all those kinds of monsters, right? Okay. Like a Halloween-y type.
It is.
I don't even know.
It is. Yeah. It's like all the monsters, all the old school monsters. And it is another cooperative game. And I believe you're fighting against the different monsters, maybe. Like, I think that's how it goes. But I'm excited to play that one as well in the future here.
Yeah.
But man,
I would love to try that one too. I have not tried that at all.
Target games are killing it right now, everyone.
That is, I hear Target so much lately. Gosh, I was just talking to somebody else about another game that came out at Target, and they were like, it was so good. I can't remember what it was. I know you meant, because isn't Gargoyles a Target deal? Yeah, it's crazy. Well, all right. There is a line from the movie Aliens that Randy says all the time, and I cannot remember it. Oh, babe, if you're in the chat. I cannot remember what it is. Oh, hi, Aaron DeMaster.
Hello, Aaron.
Aaron, he is a really top-notch individual who I don't call everybody that, Aaron. So take it as a compliment. He has been coming to some of our game nights, and he's actually helping to actually started it, is running a new convention that's coming. It's going to be a local convention in 2022. I'm super excited about it, called Strong Tower Convention. Randy and I are on the advisory board. I feel like we do literally nothing to help, but it's still cool to be a part of the board. And so hello to you. Let's see. Raven says, Horrified is a lot of fun. It's like Pandemic Light. I cannot read that. Shoot. There's another one coming with, what does that say? Cryptozoology.
There's another one coming out. Yeah, cryptozoology monsters. Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
Absolutely. Okay. I saw that one too as well. Like, that'll be really
Game
interesting.
over.
Yeah. Game over,
Thank you, Aaron.
Game over.
You guys, when Aaron came to our house and I had never met him before, I got with him and another guy, Mike, and we were upstairs on this table playing this game. I think we were playing Skullport, Lords of Waterdeep. And he said a million lines from movies, and I'm like, you are
really? Oh my gosh.
Totally exactly what my husband is doing now. Like, everything that we said, he had like a line from a movie or a song. And so Randy doesn't need to be in the chat. Aaron does. Game over, man. That's what it is. Yes, definitely. Oh, Space Base. We were playing Space Base. Okay. But I know we played Lords of Waterdeep also. Yeah.
This was a lot of fun though. This was a surprise for me because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but I was pleasantly surprised with this one.
Awesome.
So,
all right, I'm going to talk about the game. I'm going to try to find it on BJJ. So Randy and I played this last night live stream. Okay. We played it. I think we played it one time like a week ago. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm curious. I'm curious. To see what you played.
Yeah. Are you cargo to see what we played? Somebody last night said that. They're like, I'm curious about them. I mean, there was a ton of like curious puns happening. And I was like, are you a cargo about it also? We're like, what? It's really lame. Yes, we played. Here it is. Curious Cargo.
I've been wanting to play this. I freaking love their games. Like, oh my gosh.
Because I'm assuming you've played Pipeline then?
Yes.
I have not played that, but last night everybody was comparing it, and somebody said they thought maybe Curious Cargo was like a lighter version of Pipeline.
Okay.
Randy bought this game because it is so up his alley. He loves puzzles. The fact that you're trying to have connects in the game from your machines to your loading docks and receiving docks, he loves that. So he bought this game and we played it like a week ago. And I destroyed him. Like, I kicked his butt and I'm like, this was so good. Like, I really had so much fun with it. And then we played again live last night and he does not love this game.
What?
And it really bothers him. It genuinely bothers him that he does not love this game and he can't really figure out why. I think part of it is, I know, he's like, it's kind of clumsy and a little bit fiddly. And he goes, the fact that you're drawing from a bag and those pipes, like if you get a lot of straight pipes, like if you can see this side of the, am I even on right now? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Cause like I said, I can't see anything. This side of the screen here, you can see it's got a lot of straight pipes. And so if you can draw a lot of those or like get rid of trash cards to draw new pipes out of the bag, you can do that, but you're kind of at the mercy of just whatever you draw. So see, this one over here is super squiggly. Like, they were able to make connection from this machine to this receiving dock, but it's really difficult to be able to do that. And so by the time you finally get all these connections in the game, it's over. Like it ends so quickly. And it is a fast game. So the point of this game is you are trying to get these long tiles like you can see here and lay them out on this grid in such a way where you're connecting your machines to your loading docks and to your receiving docks. The way the game ends is so confusing. Like, whoever gets a star is the winner no matter what. No matter how many points the other person gets, as long as you got a star, you won. Which is kind of a weird thing. I think it's because it's really hard to get stars. So as you can see over here, you would get this star if you were able to fill up blue and red, blue and red, blue and red, blue and red. Like, you have to get the entire column filled in. So it's very difficult. This example they're showing here is the purple side of the tiles. Rand and I played with the lighter side. I wonder if they have a picture of that. In this, the more difficult side, they have 3 colored tubes. As you can see, there's like blue, red, and purple, which makes it really, really challenging because you can hardly connect just one color. It's very, very challenging. So once you get connections from your machine to your loading dock, you then are able to play truck cards during like the trucking phase. And you push them up this little grid line right here. And if your truck happens to get in front of a connector where you were able to make a connection from that dock to the machine, you get to put that color piece in the truck.
Oh, which is adorable.
Good because it is, because then you uncover these points. It is super cute. And then this is what I like about it a lot, actually. The other side of your board is the receiving side. So if you can connect your pipes from those machines to the receiving docks, you're able to take off the other person's truck what they were able to ship out. So that truck on that other side of the board is, let's say, what Randy shipped. Yeah. So then I receive it. And if I don't have pipes lined up, I cannot take any of these pieces off that truck. Yeah.
That's so interesting.
I hope that made sense. We were going back and forth the entire night being like, I hate this game. And then we're like, no, it's good. It's really good. But then we're like, no, this sucks though. And we're like, no, I like it. I mean, if you want to watch complete and utter angst, like, go watch us play our stream last night. We still don't know how we feel about it. It's very controversial in our house.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. I think Randy did not like how you're just drawing out of the bag and hopefully you get good pipes. And if not, you're kind of screwed, because once you make those connections, you don't want to mess up that pipe. You want to keep it. Right. But sometimes you have to cover it in order to receive or ship other things. So it's I think what frustrates me about it is that it ends really quickly, because you feel like you just it's not an engine. You don't really get an engine going, but once you're able to finally get a connection, some of the stipulations to win are you have to ship out 9 of your goods across the blue and the red. You just have to get 9 of them out onto your trucks. So like Randy was able to do that pretty quick last night. And I had like just got my receiving lines all hooked up. Yes. And I didn't get to receive a dang thing. So we like it and we hate it. And we like it and we hate it. I don't know.
Dang. This just makes me want to try it though. So like I can see for myself. Yeah, because like that's really interesting. And with the back and forth like that.
Kind of game. It is a very, and actually when you get, when you play a truck card on your turn, you can actually put your truck that you're playing into somebody else's trucking line to mess them up, to keep them from receiving things.
I freaking love
which
that.
Is, yeah. I bet you're going to love
You're
this.
like, haha.
Yeah, sucker. Now try to ship that blue thing. But on these trucks here, you can see this little like box, I guess, on the back end of this truck here. Whenever you see a space like that on a truck, you may not place anything on that space. So it's basically like an empty chunk of the truck that you can't use. So putting your truck in there to screw up somebody's like, oh, I'm about to ship this thing out or receive this thing can be quite, we have not done it yet because I think the game is so bloody dang short that you don't really have an opportunity to do it. So I don't know. I think we're going to play with the purple side next and try to make it a little more challenging and see if we like it. I'm willing to give it a couple more tries. It's just a weird game. And that's the word we kept using over and over. We're like, this is so weird.
Game.
Like, it's so odd. It's so strange. Like, how do you, and then also the rules were kind of like all over the place. So learning it was strange. It's just a weird little game. That's what we kept saying last night.
Battle Cry says, don't truck with other people.
Don't truck with other people. That's right. That's right. And Randy and I have not done that to each other yet, where we put our trucks in other person's spaces. I mean.
Oh, okay. So this is a good question then for you. So
yeah.
When you are playing games, do you ever like know that Randy's going to do something or like something really good and everything and try to specifically block them? Like, do you guys try to block each other? You do? Okay.
You know what? Only if, and I learned this from Randy and I learned it the hard way because when I first was a gamer, I would do whatever it took to screw him over to the point of my detriment. So I would lose.
You're like,
hard.
We both lose now, sucker.
I'm like, but you didn't get the thing. Yeah, if I'm going to die, so are you. So it was one of those things where I kept doing a lot of mean things to him so he wouldn't get it, but then he would end up creaming me anyways. And I legitimately thought it was a strategic way to play because you're screwing with the other person. But actually, more often than not, it's more strategic for yourself to always do the better move for yourself, even if you know someone's going to do something good. And obviously there are times for when like screwing their turn up is important because it will actually save points and things like that. But yeah, that is 100% how I used to play. And now not so much. So it depends on where I'm at in the game. If I'm like way going to lose anyway, yeah, sometimes I'll screw them over. It's fun to do. It's fun to do. Here's a question for you, Gloryhound, is I may have missed it. How does this game compare to the heavier game Pipeline? Because I have not played Pipeline. So how does it compare?
That's a good question because I haven't played this particular game, but I have played Pipeline. So with our combined knowledge.
Yeah, I guess so. I know. I was just saying you would know this. No, you have not played Curious Cargo. Yeah, with our combined knowledge, yes.
Pipeline you are looking for an engine to run and get through things and everything. So the Pipeline is definitely way heavier and more complex than that game there. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And Pipeline isn't necessarily always about making all of the connections in the right way. It's more about like all the other stuff that you're doing and collecting for your engine and everything. Whereas this one here, I think is more about the pipes that are being placed down and making sure those are completely intact in order to get your production line going. So, I mean, although it might have reminiscent like looks of Pipeline, I wouldn't necessarily say it is Pipeline because it's just mostly just based on those pipes there that are on the board there, you know?
Interesting. Okay. I mean, yeah, I have no way of comparing it because I've not played Pipeline, but when we were playing last night, a lot of people were chiming in and saying that Pipeline is like a way heavier version of that. So in Pipeline though, you're also doing that. You're making like connections and it's all about that kind of.
It's been a while since I've played it and everything, but you're not necessarily using in Pipeline, all the other special abilities that you have to gain and everything are really the way that you end up winning the game. So like you could have smaller connections for things and everything, but like you need to have those extra cards and everything that you're building and you're obtaining from the markets and stuff to help maximize what you're doing out on the board. Because without it, like you're just not going to do very well in the game. There's since like the middle of Pipeline is that board with all the pipes on it, you would think that is like the most important part of the game, but really it is not. It is not. If you're wanting to win,
which we do.
Yes.
And I had to keep reminding the chat last night that I creamed Randy the first play that we had. And I think part of that was because I kept playing. I made my connections really quickly with the shipping side, not the receiving side. I ended up doing some receiving, but actually the receiving helped a lot because when you receive somebody else's good, you're able to put it on those columns that once they fill up, you can get to the star possibly. Yeah. But it is important to basically to do a little bit of both if you can, but mostly pick one side. Like I would say concentrate on your shipping mostly, or your receiving. And I feel like the receiving stuff is more tricky because when you're shipping stuff out, you're in control of what trucks you're using, knowing what spaces you have available. Yeah. And receiving, you're just making connections and hoping that their truck fits right in where your loading dock is. Yeah. So, and then also Randy, he did a lot of like tile replacement, like just looking for new tiles kind of a thing. And I think that's kind of a waste of time. I think you need to like ship a lot of things, even if you only get one good on a 6 truck, a big old truck. Yeah. And you put one good on there, that's still a good that you uncovered and you're one piece closer to getting those 9 things shipped, which makes you win the game. So yeah, it's a weird little game. And those are the words we kept saying last night. It's a weird little game. So I don't know. Hi, Jolly Lumpy. Hope you're doing well today.
It's interesting. I still want to try it out. Like it has enough there that I'm like, oh, I would just want to see how this plays out. That'd be really interesting to try out. Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we don't not like it. We just don't know how we feel. And I've never seen Randy, so he was like grasping for words to explain how he felt. He's like, I don't know. It was a trippy stream last night. We're like, what is happening? Who are we as people?
Yeah. Sometimes that's how it is on stream. You just want to be like, this is how it is happening.
I don't know.
It's hard to explain those feelings sometimes.
Totally. It totally is. Uh-huh. Definitely. Okay, so that's what we played. And honestly, that is the only game. When you and I did a stream on your channel last week, did I talk about Undaunted? I don't remember. Yes, I did, because we talked about board games. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So literally, Undaunted and Curious Cargo are the only games that I played, like at all.
That's okay.
This entire week.
That's okay.
It was a weird week. It was weird.
I did not get to play a whole lot of games either. I did play, however, Rolling Realms. And this might be
is that the game you're going to talk about next? Should I look
Yeah. Okay. Rolling Realms. Yes, and this is by Stone Mayer Games. This is a print and play that they went ahead and I guess released whenever COVID started out, and then now they've actually released the full game because people were really excited about it. This is a roll and write sort of game. I think 1 to 6 players or something like that can play. Really, really interesting.
Cool. Okay.
For those of you, I want to know who in our chat really likes roll and write games, because this is obviously very, very, very important. Yeah, for people who really love roll and write games, because the way that this game plays is that you have 3 different types of cards out, and all the cards are adorably named after all of Stone Mayer Games. So you have your Scythe card and your Viticulture card and all these things, right? And you have 3 different types of cards to resolve for, I guess, a whole round card, right? And each card does something different. So when you roll the dice, you have 2 numbers, and you get to use those 2 numbers on any of these 3 cards. Now, since each card is almost like a little tiny mini roll and write game. So you're trying to make these 2 numbers happen for each and every single thing. Make different things happen in all these little mini roll and writes, but you do have to split the numbers between them, which makes things really, it makes a really fun puzzle is what it does, because you're like, okay, I need to complete this, but I'm waiting for these numbers over here. And then you have these little cards with little hearts and little things that you can earn that of course make it so you can alter things in the game. So you can alter dice numbers. You can maybe add a dice to something. You can, so you can do different things with those little bonuses that you might collect, but every card is completely different. And then at the end of an entire round, then you score how many stars you got off of each card. And then that is your total. Then you move on to 3 new cards and you do the whole thing over again,
Oh,
but
that's
it is a
cool.
completely different game because you're using 3 completely different cards in the game and you have 3 more puzzles to solve. I think like
That's
the
really
really
cool.
cool portion of this game is the fact that you have limited resources and you're solving 3 puzzles at one time every single time. Like I really enjoy that
Wow.
feature of it. Yeah. It's
That's
and
really
it's
cool.
not really that much to keep track of though. Even though you're like,
Hmm.
okay, I need to do this over here and you do that over there, like it is like small enough or something. It's like compact enough that like you don't ever lose track of what you're doing in it.
That's
Like
awesome.
because when I
That's
play
the kind of
Fleet
game I need to
Dice,
play.
well, when I play Fleet Dice, I feel like you get
Uh-huh.
into all these rolling combos and all this amazing
Oh,
stuff happening,
totally.
which is
Yeah, that
amazing.
one it is amazing, but there's so
But
much to like because I did this, this,
yeah,
this, this.
you
Yeah.
have to start keeping track of stuff. So I'm like counting on my fingers when I'm playing Dice to make sure like I'm doing stuff right. And in this one, since everything is compartmentalized, it is so
Hmm.
much easier to keep track of everything. And even though you're solving like 3 puzzles at a time with that, you know?
Interesting. So
So
like what
I was,
triggers the end game in this game then? If you're just
oh,
doing
okay.
like 3 puzzles at a time, how do you end
So I
it?
think you like roll a dice 9 times. I think it was 9 times.
Hmm.
Don't get me on
Don't quote
that.
you on that.
Yeah. After you roll the dice 9 times, those 3 cards are finished. And you
Uh-huh.
do that 3 times.
Okay.
So you do the 9 rolls, you complete the 3 cards, you move them on, you do the 9 rolls, complete the 3 cards, move it on, and you do it one
Ah,
more time. And then whoever has the most stars, then you would be able to win the game on that. But I would imagine, like, really, if you're playing this and you want to do like just a
mhm.
short 3 card game, like that wouldn't be
Yeah.
a huge deal. Like you could just do a
Yeah,
short 3 card
definitely.
game,
This
right?
seems like a lighter game. Is it like a lighter vibe?
It's a light, or I guess it's a lighter roll and write game, but like
Mhm.
there's still a lot of stuff there because you're still trying to maneuver your numbers into 3 different puzzles as you're playing. So, like I
That's
said,
really interesting. Hmm.
if you
Okay.
really like roll and write games, you're probably going to really like this game because it has a
Okay.
lot of fun little mechanics on each different card that you're playing. So, like, it just makes a really unique experience as you're going on. But
That's
I really
cool.
like roll and writes.
So do I, and I like flipping
Hmm.
rights. I
Yeah.
really do. I don't think I've played a single one that I don't like. I think last week we talked about oh, what's it called? Once Upon a Castle. Did I talk about that last week? Gosh, I can't
No, I
remember.
don't think we
'Cause
did.
that is something that we played with our boys. So that yay, that's something I
Okay.
can talk about, and it is a flip and
Oh,
right.
yay.
Yes, it's so cute. It's like a kid's flip and right game. We saw it at Half Price Books, and I thought it was the cutest thing. Ryan's like, "Oh my gosh, I have not seen you freaking squeal like that about a
Adorable.
game in a really long time." I was like, so he went online and just surprised me and bought it when we did our whole unboxing thing. But it's definitely geared towards little kids. Like it's not. It's really really cute, but it's light and it's like a kid version. But you have this deck of cards. 3 cards come out at a time, and there's special abilities that you get throughout the game. And it's really cool because every individual player has a little board that is a grid, and on all around the edges of the board is a picture of something. So there's like food or wheat or wood. There's also grab a card from the deck kind of things. And once somebody else rolls these 2 huge chunky die, which are so adorable, you get to choose one of those 2 things to put a chit on, almost like bingo. You know, when you're playing
Hmm.
bingo and you cover up the picture. So you kind of do that until you fill up an entire column or row, and then you get that ability at the end of that row or column. And upon doing that, you get to fill in, and this is the fun part, parts of your castle. So it's all like
Aw.
dotted lines. It's dotted lines so you can trace it. So you can put in your pillars and you can put banners on your castle. And some people
I
go
love
crazy and they like
that. That's
decorate it.
adorable.
It's so cute. And it's really interesting. I have not seen that fill in the grid and then get the reward and then put it on your castle. Like I have not seen that before, and I thought
Yeah.
it was really cute. And it's super easy for kids to grasp. But we played with my 12-year-old and 10-year-old, and they loved it. Like they were so into it. So
Aw.
that's one definitely check out. But I don't think I've played a flip and right or a roll and right that I don't love. I love them
Yeah.
all.
There's a
I love
lot of
them
ones.
all.
This one is definitely better than like a Gauche and Clever where you're just like basically filling in
Mm.
squares because you do have
Mhm.
to really look at those cards and like I have the cards right in front of me. One of them is
Oh.
like a tower that you have to go ahead and like fill in, okay, the lowest, or do you want high numbers here because any number above is going to have to be higher. So you're trying to fill in these towers, and you get points based off of how many rows you complete, not necessarily how many columns. But if you get a column done, then you get little rewards and stuff, right? And then you have like this card here where you make one of the numbers here, you circle it like with the grapes here. So if I had a 6, and then I'm trying to get another number later on to hopefully match with this number. So if I got a 6 previously and then I rolled a 6, now I could get a 12, which is going to give me 2 stars, but then that gets marked off. So then I have to try to get one of these other numbers here. So like each one of these cards just has a completely different way to play. Like there's a polyomino one here. The polyomino one here, when you roll, you have to go ahead and do this little shape in here, and then you're trying to make rows and columns based off of that. So just with those 3 puzzles as it is, whenever you're playing this, you're like, okay, I'm having to switch my brain from polyomino mode to adding mode to like building mode. And so like that's the really fun
cool
portion of
I feel
it.
like there is a ton of replayability with that then. Like that seems like there's a lot.
Yeah, the different combinations are crazy.
Brain's thinking of like 3 different puzzles at the same time. That's really, really cool.
Exactly.
And then, you know what you mentioned? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and then you only have, the 2 numbers each time that you're doing it, so you get a limited amount of numbers, and you really have to figure out, okay, where am I going to focus my time at?
I do appreciate that in games where it looks like a crazy amount of like things that you can do, but wait, you're only given this many choices.
Yeah.
Then you really got to. I think that's an important thing to have, because if sometimes I struggle with sandboxy type games where you're just like anything goes and everything, because I'm like, but I need direction.
I don't know what I want to do.
I'm floundering in my life. I don't want to flounder in a board game. No.
Right.
I don't need to flounder here. Give me direction. So I don't know. That's a good thing to have. And yeah, actually, oh my gosh, what game was that? We played Caverna, and Randy loves that game. And it's definitely a kind of game that I would normally love, I think, but it's too open, it's too expansive, and all the little tiles, you have to look at those tiny little words and like really get to know that tile or you're screwed. And so we had a friend bring over Forgotten Folk, I think is the expansion for it. And I was like, thank you, because it gave you an objective. It gave you something to do. It gave you direction. And I find that I thrive in moments like that. But you mentioned the game, what was it called? Don Clever.
Oh, Gonshin Clever. Yeah.
You know what? I said I don't think I've played a roll and write that I don't like, but that one is low on my list.
Yeah.
It feels too...
It's not necessarily simple, but it is... Well, here's the doctor's explanation is it's like gamer's bingo is what happens.
Yeah.
Because like there's some numbers called out, and then you mark something down, and it's the same exact thing as bingo,
that is
except really with a small side puzzle. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I really love cartographers. That's a really cool little flip and write deal. It's so fun. And I love that you get to like take somebody else's board and draw a monster on there and then give it back to them. There, take that monster.
I know, right?
That's a good time. And then we have the roll and write Castles of Burgundy. Yeah.
Okay.
That's cute. And it actually vibes very much like Castles of Burgundy, which is my all-time favorite game. It has the same like feels to it. It's very different because it's roll and write. I mean, you go from this like decent size Euro game to a tiny little roll and write. So they really captured the essence in that game, I find.
There's another really good roll and write called Roam and Roll, which is really, really interesting. Yes, because in Roam and Roll, it's really interesting. Like, what is it? I'm trying to remember the name of the company.
Is it Rome as in I'm roaming through the forest?
No,
or is it like Rome?
Rome is in the city, yeah.
Okay.
Rome is in the city.
Apparently you sing with that, I don't know.
Was made by a company who usually does war games and stuff like that, or like heavier games. And in this game here, you have this roll and write aspect of it where you are trying to mark stuff off, but you also have this community board that everybody's drawing on. And you're sectioning off parts of the city, and you're trying to take over different territories, but all in a roll and write. It is the craziest
so cool.
thing ever. It's like this crazy, like almost like Civ kind of building game on top of like this roll and write experience. It is one of the most unique. Yeah, it's one of the most unique roll and writes I've ever played. It is so much fun. Yes,
Oh
PSC
my
games.
gosh.
I love it so much. And like,
Randy, if you
I
were in the chat, you can look up the prices of this. I give you
I
permission.
really feel like they did not get enough recognition for what this is, because this is a truly unique roll-in right here, where the rolling and writing is really important to the game, but you still have the structure of like, all right, I really got to focus on where I'm putting my buildings at. I really got to focus on what I'm
That's
upgrading.
amazing.
Yeah, there it is right there. You section off
Oh,
parts of the
sorry.
city. So
Let
like
me go
you have your
back.
little colors and you section off parts of the city that you go to, and you have meeples that move across the city, and that's like where you're at. So when you draw something else in and you hop to another building and everything, it has to be like connected to the other buildings. Like
That's
it
so
is
cool.
so much
That
fun.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you, and I
Okay.
don't know if I talked about this game yet or not. Have you played, oh gosh, what's it called? Hadrian's
Oh, I want to
Wall?
play that. We have not. I think we got that. I think we just recently acquired
Girl,
that game. I
get
need to
it
play it.
on the freaking table
Okay.
now.
Okay.
It is absolutely so good. I love it. I
Really?
played, yeah, Jeremy Howard came over
Okay.
with Man vs. Meeple, and he sat
Yeah.
down and taught us this game, and it was like I got like giggly right away because I'm like, you can do this and this and this. And the combo making in this game is amazing.
Ooh.
It is a
Okay.
huge look at this. Look at
Oh
these.
my goodness.
It's absurd. But once you really get to know what all those little columns and rows mean,
Yeah.
it all just clicks. And it really did take me, I'm not gonna lie, like most of the game to understand what the ever living heck I was doing. I mean, look at that. That's absurd.
Sometimes
It's
that
ridiculous.
happens. You need a playthrough. Sometimes you need
It
a
is
playthrough.
ridiculous. Yeah. So my first playthrough was like, whoa, not good. I did not do well, but it is so fantastic. Randy, why do we not own this game? Where is
You
he?
don't own this game?
We don't own it.
Randy
No, he
Randy
brought it
needs to
over
make
and
some purchases.
yes, he absolutely does. I think
You're
one of the
like,
coolest thing is when you start a new round, you actually have to hopefully during that round beefed up your wall enough where you have guards protecting it, because you will have cards that come out at random that say 1 damage to, like, this arrow going this way. And so it can actually do damage to your wall, and you have to start crossing things out. So it's important to, like, once per round, make sure you beefed up your wall enough to protect yourself. But then it's really angsty because you're like, but I want to use my turns and my little meeple
oh,
guys to do this.
yeah.
So you get stone and all these little guys that you can combo them with the different
Hmm.
colors to do different things all over that board. I mean, you're just writing all over the place. It's crazy.
Oh, see,
So you definitely need some
Thessic,
good writing utensils.
Thessic says the first play never counts, which is true.
No.
That first play, sometimes you're just learning how to play the game, okay?
Yep. Yep, totally, totally. Hi, Up the Irons. They say this looks really cool. I'm assuming you're talking Hadrian's Wall. I've been not really following my chat. Sorry, guys. Hi, Gator Dave. But if you have not played Hadrian's Wall, dude,
I need
you and
to.
Gloryhougdd, please. And then
Hmm.
I really want to hear what you think about it, because
Yeah.
it's intense. Do not let your first game count. Like, there's no
Okay.
way.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. There's way too much stuff to keep track of. But honestly, the more we talk about roll and rights, I love them. I
Yeah.
love them.
I
They're
do
very, like,
too.
solid feeling and very, like, I don't know. It's that good feeling of like, here's your option. What are you going to do with it? And I
And
love that feeling.
there's like something in me that has like, it's that completion thing. Like I love the completion
Yes.
feeling. And so
Yeah.
roll and writes give you instant completion feeling gratification. Like immediately you're like, yes, check. I did a thing.
Totally.
Check. Like so
Totally.
good.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? Sometimes, like, I'll write a list of chores that I have to do throughout my day. And 9 times out of 10, I write crap on that list that I've already done just so I can check it off.
Yes. Check it out. And you're like, look at all the amazing things I did. Check. Made this
Look
list.
at how
Check.
much I'm doing today. Sometimes I'll write, like, take a breath. Nailed it.
Check. Boom. Breathing great
Eat
today.
your
Thanks.
breakfast. Did it. Sometimes I put the stupidest stuff on there just so I can check it. I definitely do that. Rand and I have talked
Oh,
about doing a welcome to game on a Monday night with anybody who wants to get involved,
yes.
because I just think the people who made that game are genius. I
Yes.
That is the plural for geniuses.
Let me know when you do it because I will be on there. Because I love Welcome to so much. Like I'll play.
It's
I'll play
so
along.
good. And I think we have talked about it on the chat before, but I must have the Halloween expansion. Can we please, Randy, Hadrian's Wall, welcome to Halloween expansion. And what was the other thing I said I wanted? Another game that we just
Hadrian's
talked about.
Wall, Roman Roll, and
Roll.
the Halloween expansion. Yes.
Yep, that's what I need in my life right now.
And Halloween is coming up, so like you need that expansion.
How perfect
for Halloween.
You need it
for Halloween.
I feel like saying like I'm gonna go to Starbucks and then play Welcome to with my Halloween expansion.
That would be amazing.
It would be. Oh, well, guys, I think that's all the time I have today. I need to wrap it up and get myself upstairs. But thank you so much for being here. I did want to talk to you guys about, I'm not sure if I'm doing this or not, but I did talk to Gloryhound about possibly taking a little sabbatical from our Tuesdays. Just because life has gotten really crazy lately, and we're definitely picking up as photographers for our weddings and senior shoots, and I'm very, very busy. So as much as it makes me sad, I'm not saying I'm going to like cut cold turkey right now, but I might kind of adapt how I do things, maybe doing a little less streaming, but still come in here. And Gloryhound was so sweet and almost made me cry before the stream because she was like, do whatever you need to do and take a break and take care of yourself. And I was like, thank you.
Yes.
So we'll see. I'll let you know. I want to keep you guys posted because I obviously care about how you guys feel, and I don't want to like just all of a sudden be like, and I'm done here. And then you're like, where's Ellen?
That's how you go. You go, peace, and then you like knock over your chair and leave.
I'm out of here, guys.
Right.
So anyways, Glory, how don't you tell people where they can find you?
You can find me at Gloryhound on YouTube. So you can just type in Gloryhound and I'm sure you'll get to the website. You can find our YouTube stuff where we stream videos at least once a week. We do a Kickstarter show. We do little shows like this, like talk about fun stuff. Super amazing. We're always super involved with our chat. So we really love talking to all of you out there. So you can check that out.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to find the stupid overlay for the end of the show. I swear, if I miss 1 week, I'm like, who am I in life? I
don't know what's happening anymore.
All right, guys, have a lovely, lovely week, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.